But Tanya, one thing that I'd like you to talk about is we use a paradigm frequently in our development called leadership in four directions. People lead their boss, people lead others, people are lead or led by their peers, but they also lead themselves. And sometimes I think that may be the most difficult of the four different directions. And you've done, I think, remarkable work in that area of leading yourself in the seminars that you teach, which talk about, leadership wellness, stress management, and those kind of issues. So talk a little bit about the content of those particular seminars you've taught, how individual leaders have reacted to the work you've done on leading yourself, and how you think that may have affected their leadership styles in the organizations they're part of.
So to answer that question, so you first said, how does it impact them individually?
Right.
And like you said, it's about leading yourself. So it's a really individual leadership challenge, right? And the reactions we've gotten have been really incredible and honestly surprised me at first, that people were coming back to us at those 90-day follow-ups saying, I've lost 20, 30 pounds. I have my wife on board and, she's also, we're going to the gym together or whatever the case may be. So really impacting people on a very individual level and their health. I know, we had one woman say, oh, now I do walking meetings, which is something we talk about every once in a while. I go out on the track, and if anyone wants to meet with me on a certain day a week, they can come out and join me. Which that sort of leads me to that leading yourself when it comes to health and wellness is not really just about yourself. If you're a leader in an organization, it's really about being an example to the folks around you. And what I think is really unique about this sort of about self-care and being an example to others is when you do that, you're also giving other people permission to take care of themselves. And then you have an organization that is really efficient and productive and values self-care. And that's just a healthier organization. So again, it's individual, but also being an example to others. And then it flows over organizationally. Like we had the one, I think it was a school district that said, we went back and decided to paint our lunchroom, our staff lunchroom, which seems incredibly simple and kind of like, well, why? Why would you do that? Well, no one was utilizing it. Everyone was eating lunch at their desks in front of a computer, and that's not really the healthiest thing to do. So we painted our lunchroom. It's more inviting. So now folks actually step away from their desks, take a break. But not only that, they now are connecting more with each other. They're having
Right.
conversations. They're getting to know each other. So again, not just about individual self-care, but also about your team, the people around you, getting to know your coworkers. So it really ripples out really interestingly from just an individual self-care approach to into the organization as well.
We always had a phrase when I was in the Army that an officer is always on parade. And I think it's true for leaders if you just take out the word officer and stick in the word leader. And that ability to set the example, particularly in the area of self-care, health, and wellness, ripples down because people will mimic whoever's in charge. The boss is eating well, they'll eat well. The boss comes in the morning and has 3 donuts, they'll have 3 donuts. The boss eats at his or her desk, they'll eat at their desk. And so I think it's so important for the leader to set that kind of example in the health and wellness of themselves and personal care, and it ripples down. And then, of course, last thing I always say to leaders is, you're doing 2 things every day. You're executing your mission, and you're developing your replacement. And if your replacement sees you conducting yourselves in that fashion, that's part of developing them for the future.